and a wonderful weekend in anticipation for Valentine's Day. And so we have some guests in studio that would be in studio this morning. And it is always good to start off the day with positive affirmations, positive affirmations. And one of the affirmations that I shared before and I wish to share again is that I am deserving of love. I am deserving of love. So as you go through the day, remember that you are deserving of love and that you are worthy of love and that you are important, you are enough, and that you are worthy of love. And of course, I always like to share some sort of message, some sort of lifestyle tip that would assist persons in whatever they are doing. They are different persons with different interests, and as such, these tips try to reach everyone, regardless of interest. And so it says 5 simple ways to enjoy your weight loss journey. The word diet has come to be associated with a lot of negative connotations over time, including the implied beginning and end, frustration that comes with weeks or months of restriction, agitation from days spent calorie counting or skipping out on social events to adhere to your specific eating plan, and anger from these experiences. However, there is still hope despite the fact that dieting does make it more difficult to lose weight and keep it off. You can reach your eating fitness objectives, maintain those goals, and have even fun while doing it with the correct attitude and a little perseverance. Here are 5 ways to have fun while losing weight. 1. Eat meals you enjoy. Plan your meals and the things you'll eat as though you're serving them to someone you truly want to please. Make wise substitutes to your favorite dishes. Eat smaller portions to minimize calories or prepare meals that are more nutritionally balanced. Just don't replace them with with rabbit food or you'll be setting up yourself for hungry times. Proactively manage the temptations in your own house. Keep the snacks you want to eat close at hand and visible. Make it difficult to grab the ones you are attempting to avoid by hiding them from view. Instead of storing chips and other high caloric snacks on the kitchen cabinet or table, try having a bowl of fresh fruits there. This little technique makes it simpler to control the natural want to devour something when you see it. 3. Forget exercise and think accomplishment. One of the things that make losing weight difficult is using the word exercise. The word itself has a dull, monotonous sound. Thinking about your diet goals will help motivate you more. This could take many different forms, such as exercising for a minute longer than you did yesterday, lifting a little more weight, or burning an additional few calories. Even if you're just getting started, anything that shifts your focus from, do I really want to do this, to, let's see what I can do, mentality should work. Just be sure that your daily achievement target is appropriate for where you are in your fitness journey. Number 4, choose the type of exercises that make your life easier and better. Examine your lifestyles to see if there are any exercises that work for both your schedule and your personality. If it's not a hassle that you hate, you are more inclined to do it frequently. For example, walking is an easy way to exercise if you enjoy doing it. You can walk to the supermarket or perform errands while burning calories, and you won't have to talk yourself into going to the gym. Number 5, reward yourself for accomplishments. Give yourself a non-food reward if you succeed in completing the task you set out to complete that day. Every day that you reach your workout goal, put $1 in a jar. At the end of the month, you can spend the money in any way you like. When you are in the middle of your workout, This tactic might give you something enjoyable to focus on. What can you buy with all the money you've earned? You just can't will yourself to lose weight, as you can get out of bed in the morning. Instead, it is something that occurs when you are constantly practicing other behaviors over time, such as eating less and moving more. The best strategy to assist yourself in permanently losing weight is to use your willpower to choose foods to consume and things to do what you enjoy for your own sake. Your motivation to encourage or engage in those behaviors now and long after you reach your target weight will come from the joy and benefits you will experience from them. And this is an article by Shireen Joseph. It is an article that was published on January 11, 2023, and by Shireen Joseph, Loop Lifestyles. And it's telling you 5 simple ways to enjoy your weight loss journey. And number 1 was eat meals you enjoy. Number 2, proactively manage temptations in your house. Number 3, forget exercise and think accomplishment. Number 4, choose the type of exercises that make your life easier and better. And number 5, reward yourself for accomplishments. So these are some of the lifestyle choices, and those persons who are willing to exercise, those persons who want to exercise. At this point in time, we will have our first guest in studio, and so as we prepare for our first guest, I want us to take a short break, and acknowledge our sponsors as we prepare for our first guest this morning.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Sagicor wishes to advise our valued clients and the general public that our offices will close at 12 noon on Friday, February 10th, 2023 to facilitate a team meeting. Additionally, all cashiers will close at 11 a.m. Regular business hours will resume on Monday, February 13th. Sagicor apologizes for any inconvenience. Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life. This is a notice from Sagicor. Dear valued client, in order to satisfy our regulatory requirements, we are in the process of ensuring all information on file is kept up to date and relevant. Therefore, you may be contacted and asked to submit recent documents. Should you have any queries, please call our advisor or one of our customer service representatives at 465-9476. Sagicor thanks you for your cooperation on this matter.
This is the official invitation to the Conscious Party.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Selector Highest, Strictly Positive and Conscious Music on Conscious Business on WINFM 98.9, winfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Track of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WinFM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
Joe ain't supposed to be here. Welcome back to Island Tea. And so we have some guests, but they're not here yet. And so we are going to continue the discussion. We have in the news, we have one from St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's found in Loop Caribbean News. It says 19-year-old is St. Kitts and Nevis's new Deputy Clerk of Parliament. History has been created on Wednesday when Muriel Knight began his new job as the Deputy Clerk of the St. Kitts Nevis National Assembly. That is because Knight, who is only 19 years old, is the youngest person to hold a senior role in the country's parliamentary structure. Parliament and parliamentary procedure is not new for Knight, who was the president and vice president of the St. Kitts Nevis Youth Parliament Association. Knight told St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service that he was excited about serving in the new capacity. Quote, "It is definitely an honor and a privilege to serve my country in this capacity," Knight said, noting that it aligns with his strong sense of civic responsibility. He's quoted again by saying, "I am happy to be given the opportunity to serve in this way, fulfilling a passion and serving my country." End of quote. Knight said the experience he gained while serving in the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association would help him to transition into the new role. Quote again, "The various leadership roles that I was thrust into definitely allowed me to gain an appreciation for prioritizing tasks and for organizing different events. Working alongside the clerk and the speaker for today's sitting, as well as seeing how parliamentary procedure is done from Sniper's end, definitely gave me the skills and mindset necessary to enter the halls today." End of quote. In introducing Knight during the first Parliament sitting for 2023, Speaker of the National Assembly, Lanil Blanchett, expressed her confidence in Knight's ability to serve as Deputy Clerk. Quote, "He comes with a wealth of knowledge and is uniquely poised to be an asset to the National Assembly. He has been an incredible help to the clerk and to the office as a whole." End of quote, Blanchett said. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew also commended Knight, whom he described as a very astute and dedicated. End of quote. Jamster. There we had the announcement or the article from Loop News indicating that we have a 19-year-old serving in the person of Muriel Knight as the new Deputy Clerk of Parliament.
Yeah, I saw that story. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same dude that does. I'm pretty sure was doing the Let's Talk IT show here. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, because I remember him being a knight, and it kind of looks like it, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, the article said former president of St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, but I know him to be the current, so I don't know if anything would have changed. But yeah, he serves as the president of the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association. He also works, I think, as a pilot at Casper. So he is on his way. He is doing great things as a young man.
Yes, he is. We have Azard coming up here on the show this morning, folks. So
Azard, or you mean?
I mean, I said Azard. I meant the show. Sorry.
Oh, the show, yes. I'm on the show still here. Although I won't be here for the full 2 hours. I will have to leave within the first hour of the program. And then Jamster and Sharon will take over as we have other guests that would be coming.
Okay, so what's first on the schedule for this one?
Well, we're supposed to have our first guest right now. Yes, so as we make our way, as we look, well, there's a number of items in for discussion as we await our guests here this morning. And another one in the news is that Guyana to construct resort-style luxurious wooden homes. More announcements have been made in Guyana about its continued drive to provide housing. It is reported that exclusive access to eco-friendly luxurious living is now just months away from becoming a reality for young professionals in Guyana. According to the Department of Public Information, DPI, the new lifestyle, which will see an exotic blend of natural landscaping and modern architecture, is being facilitated by the government of Guyana. The president made the announcement on Wednesday afternoon. And I quote, "In order to celebrate the luxury of wood, we will be embarking on our first luxurious wooden homes settlement in Guyana. We are only those who want luxury will reside, focusing on young professionals," the president said. End of quote. He was at the time speaking at the launch of the Drura Villa 1,000 Homes project at the Durable Wood Products Incorporated in the land of Canaan, East Bank, Demerara. He said, and I quote, "We intend to work on a project of 50 homes, all wooden, going back to our colonial style heritage, mixed with modern architecture. It is the first completely green, eco-friendly, resort-style luxury housing," the president added, President Ali. End of quote. Not only will the settlement be constructed using 100% Guyanese timber and labor, it would feature trees sourced from Guyana's forests to give its residents a fully rustic living experience. President Ali is quoted again by saying, "This is another initiative in which we will promote the niche market of luxury. Wood is not cheap. Sometimes we have the illusion that wood is for the poor. We make wood affordable in Guyana," the president said, end of quote. Through collaboration between the government and local companies, construction of the new settlement is slated to begin in the next 3 months. And this article was published 24 hours ago. And so we see in Guyana, there is a government facilitated initiative, housing initiative, where Guyanese persons, they're targeting young professionals, and they are focusing on all wooden structure from the Guyanese timber, the Guyanese wood, to construct these homes. And so you see that the government is facilitating a new set of new type of homes. You know, we look at the homes here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we look at homes across the region. More persons have more concrete type homes. The homes are made of concrete. Jamster, what are your thoughts on the wooden structures that is being proposed to? What are your thoughts on the wooden structures that are being proposed in Guyana? Instead of constructing these houses out of the concrete or the cement that we do here.
That's actually a good idea. I actually remember learning, you may not know this, but Guyana has the largest wooden structure on the planet. I think it's a church.
Why
an old
would?
church.
Oh,
Yes. The largest, I remember learning that back in the 80s, I think.
okay.
I think a church in Georgetown, it is the largest wooden structure on the planet, they said.
Oh,
And so they have lots, they have lots of lumber.
yeah. You know,
Actually,
they have lots of
I actually
lumber.
think that's a good idea.
It's an interesting idea. You know what?
Good.
You know what? When I read the article, I thought of it when I said they're going back to their colonial
You thought of me? Why?
I know how you feel about references being made
we
to the
shouldn't,
colonial past.
shouldn't ever. No, not references. I don't have a problem with references being made to the past. I like
But
to
the
make.
fact that they're constructing the homes, in a sense, to reflect the architecture,
But also
during
being,
that
but
time.
also being practical. They have a lot of, they have a lot of lumber, right? They
Yeah.
have a lot of timber.
Yeah.
They have they export wood. I know a lot of the woods used in shipbuilding. They export a lot of it. I know there's purple hat. There's one called green hat. And a lot of those woods are very durable and and resistant to the elements and so on. So for them to be building these, that's actually really cool. Actually, I
As you
think.
talk about the green hat and those, in my mind goes back to geography class when we were talking.
Exactly. That's why I
when
learned
we
that
were
stuff.
looking
Yeah.
at timber and the industry and so on, looking at the Caribbean references and looking at Guyana as a reference. Yeah, I think that it should be an interesting project. I look forward to seeing how it's built out, and it only takes one country within our region to propose something and to start an initiative, and the other countries would look at it, and if it suits them, follow suit.
The other thing that makes that kind of cool is the fact that Guyana is not exactly in Hurricane Alley, so they don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about crazy weather happening to destroy the wooden homes. And as long as, I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff that can be built with modern amenities. In a wooden home, you can do things with wood. I mean, for example, you would like, if you have the typical concrete home, you don't have to worry about, let's say, wind coming in between. But building a wooden home in modern times, you have ways of sealing up. You have ways of sealing in between the wood planks and all this kind of thing. You can treat the wood so that you don't have termite problems, and so and it's very green. Yes.
Eco-friendly.
And
it's an eco-friendly project
and a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and I think it is interesting. I look forward to seeing the project as it builds out over the next 3 months. And when I say look forward to seeing it, hopefully there are stories and pictures and in circulation, so we could actually see what's going on there with that new construction.
Well, we were supposed to have Dejour here, but he hasn't arrived yet. It's 8:45. No, Dejour, if you, well, he's not here, so
yes.
I guess we'll just have to continue. We have Petra Newton coming up at 9:00.
Yes.
And she is the owner of Soul to Soul Natural Nail Care. So she'll be coming on at 9:00 and doing her thing as part of a Love Week here on Win FM. And of course, we have a third episode of Fireproof coming up at 9:30 with the fireman Romeo Williams.
Very interesting guests, very interesting discussions that we're going to have here on Win FM in the morning, and I'm sure persons would gain a lot of information from it, and a lot of things to be learned this morning.
Yes. Okay, so what else is on your mind? So you planning to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Perhaps the halftime jam stuff.
So you don't watch football? You're not into any sport?
I'm not a huge sports watcher, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
No basketball? No football?
No.
Man.
I'm what do you call that? An abnormally. I guess
you're an anomaly.
Yes, when it comes to that.
You're like Anderson Cooper. He famously knows nothing about sports. So sometimes they have this guy on, right? One of their workers, and the guys is like their what should I call him? He's like one of their pollsters.
Yes.
So he's big on statistics, and sometimes he starts talking statistics about football, and Anderson's like, I don't know anything about sports. So you basically like Anderson Cooper, huh?
I guess in that regard, when it comes to sports, Yes, when it comes to sports.
Well, just reminding folks that on Sunday it's the Super Bowl, and of course, if you're not watching for football, our girl Rihanna is going to be doing the halftime show. You also have Chris Stapleton, he's a country artist, doing the national anthem. You have Cheryl Lee Ralph singing the Black national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And America the Beautiful, I think, is going to be sung by, oh my God, is it Babyface? I think it's Babyface, they said. So,
Well, this article, again, this is talking about Grenada. We know Grenada celebrated independence a few days ago. I think it was Tuesday. This article it features Grenada. It says, Grenada, job losses as government ends operations at MNIB in current form. And it goes on to say 70 people who are employed with the Marketing and National Importing Board, MNIB, in Grenada will be in search of new jobs as of March 1st, as the government has made a decision to shut down the operations of this entity in its current format. Quote by the chairman of that organization, Henry Joseph, yes, I can confirm that it will shut down as of the end of February, end of quote. He said that the immediate plan is to keep a small staff whose duty will be to maintain the importation of sugar to the island. He goes on to be quoted to say, as you know, the MNIB is responsible for the importation of sugar, so that will be the task of those who will remain. The board will also continue and will be tidying up the operations, end of quote, said Joseph, who was appointed to serve as chairman in August 2022. He said the Prime Minister, Deacon Michel, will inform the public in a couple of days about the future of the statutory company, which was established more than 40 years ago. Mitchell disclosed in July 2022 that the operation of the MNIB was a heavy cost on the government, and consideration was being given to shutting its doors. The Prime Minister is quoted by saying here in the article, I want to be very clear that based on my preliminary briefing as it pertains to MNIB, we may have to seriously consider ending the life of the MNIB and reconstituting either a new entity or an entity that really was meant to carry out the mandate of the MNIB, end of quote, the Prime Minister said then. And he further added, quote, we are here to take decisions, sometimes hard decisions. We cannot simply continue kicking the football down the road and expect that you can always come to the government for a bailout after bailout after bailout, with no turnaround in fortunes of the entity, with no real plan to achieve the things that the MNIB was meant to do, end of quote, he added. In January, the government conducted several consultations with farmers with a view to determining a way forward for the MNIB, which, besides importing refined sugar, is also seen as a chief supplier of fresh fruit and vegetables. Hundreds of farmers supply the MNIB with fresh fruits and vegetables, while several manufacturers place their agri-products, such as confectionery, at the MNIB for sale. Confectionaries at the MNIB for sale. During a consultation with juice manufacturers, Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Andy Williams, said it was not the government's intention to shut down the MNIB. Let me, and this is a quote, let me just say that we are not closing down the MNIB. I think that Prime Minister said that the option is not on the table. The idea is how can we make it more efficient? And that is why we wanted to have consultations with people so that when making our decisions, we can be guided accordingly. End of quote. Williams said when one manufacturer asks about alternatives for storing and obtaining fresh fruits.
I thought you were going to talk about this story with the, planter family from Grenada, the Trevelyan's, who decided to, they decided recently to pay $100,000 in reparations.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice gesture. I
Yeah.
actually thought you were going to talk about that story.
Yeah, I saw that last week.
Yeah, we had it on the news. I think it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I did see it last week.
2 days ago.
I saw it last
Well, I
week.
thought that was an interesting story because that's a case where you might say it's a drop in the bucket, but at least it's a thought that counts.
Yes.
The fact that
Yes.
they were willing
Mm-hmm.
to admit to the sin, let's call it that, and actually do something about it.
And also, we am hoping to have a discussion with Carla Estefan, who is the chairperson for the reparations committee here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I think that's one of the topics we would go into during that discussion, sometime hopefully next week.
There's also another similar story in Barbados. You know the actor Benedict Cumberbatch, right? He was he played Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, his family, and interesting enough when I heard that, because I always knew Cumberbatch was a Bajan surname. So it turns out that his family actually were they were plantation owners in Barbados, and there was some talk about making them pay reparations, but I think the Bajan government announced I think a few weeks ago that there were no plans to pursue the Cumberbatch family for. But apparently that was a talk that came up. So it's interesting to see where we're finally waking up.
Well, the reparation talks have been out there for some time, and the discussion is carried by the Caribbean nationals and persons of interest and stakeholders. So
Yes,
it would be interesting to see how it all.
if it happens.
Yeah, how-
because it's a very complex subject. Because I, for one, I mean, I understand that cash needs to be paid out, but I don't think it should just be cash, because what's just gonna happen is that we're gonna just have people spending money like drunken sailors.
Yeah,
I feel like the reparations should come. It should come with things like perhaps infrastructural investments.
Yeah.
Where the money is shepherded and managed properly, where maybe the islands can set up sovereign funds where the funds are invested by
Educational opportunities.
educational opportunities. Perhaps setting up, like one of my pet peeves about the university system in the Caribbean is that we don't have a research and development culture. I mean, you always hear about the universities elsewhere. Oh, they're doing research and development, developing this, developing that. That doesn't seem to exist in the Caribbean. So all of those things. No, meaning all of those things. All of those things. It just seems like the University of the West Indies, to me, is just a lawyer mill as far as I'm concerned.
No, but the UWI do some research, but I do understand when you mean in terms of
yes,
persons, and I mean, I guess
taking a more
if you look at
analytical
it,
and critical
I mean,
approach to sciences and so on and in a Caribbean context, rather than depending on the Harvards and the Oxfords to be doing this research, trying to push the science along. I mean, what's the point of teaching, say, medicine and all these other disciplines if you're not actually trying to push that science forward, right?
I get what you're saying. I know they do some research, but I guess
So
what you're saying,
I
the
feel like,
research could be
So
a
I feel
greater
like
emphasis.
Yeah, because I feel like some of that money could be used to, let's say, upgrade.
Yeah, and of course they would need monies to do these type of research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So maybe that could have been a factor as it relates to.
So that would not include universities alone. It would mean that the schools would have to be radically upgraded, because you can't just spend all the money on the universities. It has to start from. It has to start where you're gonna have to supply the educational amenities that that standard elsewhere.
Yes.
Of course, kind of contextualized for our particular Caribbean purposes, right? So yeah, there's a lot of so yeah, the reparations thing. Where I don't think the straight up money thing is the way to go.
It is indeed a very complex
Yeah,
topic. I think that one has to look at it in a holistic approach, in a holistic manner. It's not just black and white. It's not something that
it's very complex.
Something complex.
And there will always be rhetorical fights about this. With when you have debates about this. I mean, take for example one of the biggest. Have you ever heard of Jane? Oh God, what's her last name? I can't remember. Jane Elliott. Have you heard of Jane Elliott?
I think I've heard the name before.
She's a researcher on like racism and stuff. And oddly enough, she is against if you hear her talk, you realize, man, she's a real one. But she's actually against the whole reparations thing. And some of the people who you think would be for reparations, whereas I'm kind of in the middle. I'm like, well, okay, if reparations is, say, I'm just calling a number. If it's $100, okay, maybe you could give us $40 in cash, and the other $60 we're gonna set up a system where it is properly invested in the society, in a sovereign fund like a rainy day fund. Also, upgrades. For example, we could have a bridge to St. Kitts and Nevis come about because of some of these funds. See what I'm saying? Just by way of example.
I do get what you're saying. Jamster, as we prepare for our next guest, I just want to say to those listening that we have in studio our next guest. I'm going to introduce. I won't be here for long.
Petra Newton.
Miss Petra Newton. I am so sorry that I won't be here for long because I really wanted to do this interview, and Jamsters will have to do it. Petra, you could come and
sounds
take
like he
a
wants
seat.
to do his nails.
No. I love engaging, you know. I love engaging. Morning. How are you doing? Yes.
Come, Petra. Come.
Come up. Yes.
Come to the mic, Petra.
Come to the mic.
You're not coming in here taking pictures. What do you think this is?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a love
Choose a mic.
week. This is a love week here, and we are in studio with Petra from Soul to Soul. Yes. I had a question. Someone had a question for me to ask. Ask if she still have the school. Yes. Yes. So Petra, I want to say welcome to
Just put on headphones.
this morning's program. Yes.
Good morning, good morning.
Yes. And I'm going to Sharon. I'm going to ask Sharon, Sharon, would you be in here? Yes. Because unfortunately I have to run, and so I won't be able to conduct this interview, but I want to say thank you for coming.
No problem.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes, and I know you're going to be in good hands. So Jamster, while we prepare, let's take a little break. Let's have some little advertisements so persons could be, persons wait in anticipation for our next guest.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hello, this is Harper.
You got a clock, you got a chair, you got some headphones.
Yep, we got that.
What about a stapler and printer?
Yep, we got that.
Do you have a floor mat too?
Yep, we got that.
Tell me you got some cables and a projector.
got that.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Here are your Horses Value Mart IG Value Club Valentine's specials.
Running February 9 to the 22nd.
Our Value Club Blue Tag specials, IGA and Essential Everyday Honey Beer, $15.99. Quaker Granola Bars, just $11.99. Or Ida Fries, $18.99. Breyers Premium Ice Cream, $26.99. Tide Liquid Detergent, $34.99. Suavitel Fabric Softener, just $19.99. And now, our very low weekly
Value deals. Post honey bunches of oats, $12.99. Snack pack puddings, $5.99. IG and Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $6.49. Welch's Grape Juices, $15.99. Mr. Clean Liquid Cleaner, $12.99. Dial Liquid Hand Soap, $5.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
And we're back. It's 9:04. We've got Petra Von Newton in studio, and Shari was nice enough to join me.
Yes. Good morning, Jeffrey. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Petra. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. First time at WINNFM, yes?
Yes, it is.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so you are here to tell us a little bit about Soul to Soul, and that's the business that you have. So tell us a little about it and some of the services that you provide.
Okay, so Soul to Soul is a natural nail care business. I'm into nail care, natural nail care. And we were established, I went to school in 2005, but officially we launched in 2008.
Okay.
So the 1st of November 2008, that was when we officially launched. So I specialize in pedicures. So I have my signature pedicures. I have pot stones, paraffins, fire and ice pedicures. I also do manicures, but if you push me hard enough. I do not do acrylic, so I work on the natural nail only. And I actually have my own polish line.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Tell us a little about that.
So my polish line is Soul to Soul, and we launched it in 2020, and it's a 10-free polish line. So a lot of the toxins that are found in the regular polish, we do not have it in ours. So we have 10 things that are not in our polish. And what's not inside, we don't have formaldehyde in our polish. We don't have toluene in our polish. There's no perfume. So when you use our polish, you know, after you use polish, sometimes you have that polish scent. We don't have that when you use our polish. And it's a long-lasting polish. So the parabens and all those other things, we don't have it in our polish, but it stays.
Okay.
And it's a healthier version for polish.
I didn't even know formaldehyde was in nail polish to begin with. Oops.
Yes.
I'm like, I need to go home and read the label now.
Why the radical specialization? though? I mean, I kind of thought nails was like both hands and feet.
Yeah, it is hands and feet, but some of us like to be different. And that's what makes Soul to Soul unique. I love feet. For the love of feet. This is Valentine's week. So we're doing For the Love of Feet this week. And I find that a lot of us, we do not take care of our feet. The feet carry us throughout the day, and we can't do anything unless we're moving on these feet, and we don't take care of them. We don't love them. I read an article sometime there this week that says, I think it was Foot Logics, one of the pedicure brands that I follow. They said that the foot is the second heart. So if the foot is the second heart, then we need to take care of the heart like we take care of the heart.
But you do have a point, though. The only time you actually think about your foot is when it's hurting.
Correct.
if you twist it by accident, then it's even more pressing, and you're like, oh my gosh. But we don't really think
we
about our
don't.
feet too much.
And the feet are important, because if your feet are not going anywhere, you're not going anywhere.
True.
So we need to, and it is now becoming a practice that persons are now starting to get the message that the feet are important and we need to look after it. People are coming down with diabetes. People are coming down with all sorts of diseases that, the feet.
And as you
are
bring up
impacted.
diabetes, sometimes when the foot is actually starting to have a problem, sometimes that person might not even realize that there's
Correct.
a problem happening. So I'm assuming in your care of the feet that if you do see something that you probably need to alert your client about, you give them a heads up.
We do.
Okay.
So because we do natural nail care, so it's not just about polishing, and we take care of the natural nail. So, most times you see if there is an issue, the nails tell the story first. So the feet and the hands, they tell the story, and then once there is an issue, we recommend, then we refer you.
Okay.
If there is nothing that we can do to fix it, we refer you.
Okay. You also offer, is it a home service, or do you have an established place where people can
Well,
come?
I have my business at my home, but I can also, I'm a traveling agent, so I come to you if you can't come to me. So mostly the seniors, I travel to them and perform the service for them.
Okay. You mentioned your own line of nail polish. How do we, for those people, because a lot of people are now being more aware and they're wanting to, make changes that they think they need to make for themselves for it to be more natural. So, and not use too many chemicals and stuff like that. So tell me where people can get
So my polish
line.
is available at Swag and Sway. That's on the Bay Road, Miss Judith Wallins. And it's also available at Kingdom here on Church Street.
Oh.
For now, those are the two outlets that we have, and you can also get it from me.
And it's about, 10 different colors, I think you said?
No, well, I actually have four collections.
Oh, 4 collections.
So my first collection was the Princess of Soul, and I brought out 9 colors. And then I brought out an SKN Positive line remember when the Sugar Girls were really doing great?
Yeah.
So I brought out a line for them, and that included the national colors. And then the Breast Cancer Month, I brought out 3 pink. And then my son, who is a pilot, he celebrated his 25th birthday last year, and so I brought out Pilot Chronicles. And that collection, he chose the colors, he chose the names, and those are the 4 collections we have presently.
Nice. All right. So tell the listeners how they can get in contact with you.
So I can be contacted. I'm on social media. On Instagram, I'm Soul to Soul, and that's SOUL, the number 2, SOLE 869. And on Facebook, I am Soul to Soul, formerly New Nails Plus.
Okay. So that's how they get you. And then how do they call for an appointment?
You can call for an appointment at 660 SOUL, SOLE, that's 7653. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
So
this one, okay.
So Soul to Soul, we form partnerships.
Okay.
So this month, as the Love Month, we have a special going on for our clients and persons who are interested. So pedicures, we normally do, I have a variety of pedicures, and the deluxe pedicure is the basic pedicure that everybody normally goes for. So just to get people interested in doing another service, we have a paraffin pedicure. That's where your foot gets
in the
submerged
wax.
in the wax, which helps with circulation. And there's a hot stone pedicure as well, quite relaxing. So those are the 2 specials we're having for the month. They're normally $130, and for the month we're doing them for $100.
Oh.
And then BPW, the Business and Professional Women, and Access 869, we're partnering with them on the 18th of this month. That's next week, Saturday. We're doing a seniors pedicure clinic where we have doctors who are going to come in and speak to the clients before they come to get their pedicure done. So it's an initiative that we would have started with BPW sometime back, and COVID, of course, would have
throwing you a
put
little
us
bit off course.
right. So we are now bringing it back in, because the seniors, we realize that a lot of times they don't have that care that they need. And the nails for them could go out long. Sometimes persons are afraid to cut them. Sometimes they're so thick that they really can't get them cut. And we have the professional tools that would make that part of the care easier. And so we've partnered with BPW and Access 869, and we're going to provide that service on the 18th of November. And then I've been having quite a number of persons reaching out from in the diaspora who wants to partner with Soul to Soul.
That's great.
Because we take care of feet.
That's
we love
great.
feet, for the love of feet.
For the love of feet.
We have quite a few things coming up. I'll keep you posted on
Thank
those.
you. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also in the process of getting my own cosmetology school.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going through the process of getting registered and getting everything in order, because for me, certification is important. I attended Dudley's Cosmetology, and that piece of paper, it speaks volumes. I'm not calling down anybody, but when you have that piece of paper, you have bargaining power. So you can say, my price is XYZ, and your knowledge goes along with what you have.
True.
So I'm encouraging persons to get certified. Even if you're already in the business, I can provide an avenue for you to get certified as well. Because I've just completed an assessor's program for CVQ. So I'm lining up my ducks.
Listen, you're lining them up perfectly, because I had no idea about this part. Because I was thinking, okay, and you're like, no, you have more to tell me.
Yes, I'm lining them up slowly so that at the end of it, it's holistic and you can have that experience, soul to soul.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in, and on your new venture, we wish you all the best. Huh? Oh, the 2 giveaways. I see. Thank you for that, Jamster. Thank you so much for that. I was unaware. All right. So, Petra has the questions.
I do.
Okay, y'all go right
Yeah,
ahead.
there are 2 questions, but we have 2 pedicures to give away. We find that the men sometimes are a bit shy to get pedicures done. So I specifically have a pedicure for a male, a gentleman's pedicure.
Okay.
And then there's a deluxe pedicure for a woman. So
All
we
right,
have
so
2 pedicures.
we get the deluxe. Yes. All right, so I hope everyone is listening. We are doing giveaways. I'm pretty sure right now everybody knows the number. It's 466-0989, 662 or 762-0989. So that is the number to call once you hear the question. And please call in. You have, even if you're like maybe not into pedicures, you could also pass it off to a friend. No, it would have to be that person.
It's an experience that you really don't want to miss.
Okay, well, I think you just sold them on it, so therefore...
And as the Princess of Soul, I really would like you to come and get the pedicure that, it puts you there.
All right. Okay, so let's see. We are going to be doing the giveaways. Jamster, do you want to take a quick break and then we'll come back and do the giveaways? Let's do that. All right, so everyone stay tuned. The questions are coming up in just a little bit. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hi everyone! Welcome to Conversations with Our Kids.
Tune in every Saturday morning to Conversations with Our Kids.
Oh my gosh! I am so excited for this show. I feel like a professional radio announcer already. I am nervous and excited at the same time.
10 a.m. is Kids Time on Win FM. Conversation with Our Kids.
I made sure to tell my entire family, my teacher, classmates to tune in. Tune in.
Conversation with Our Kids.
We're going to talk about education, religion, money, family life, social media, and other interesting topics. This is a show for kids, created by kids. Conversations with our kids. Every Saturday morning at 10, only on Win Media.
Listen live on WinFM 98.9 or at WINNmediaSKN.com. Conversation with our kids every Saturday morning at 10, only on WinFM. Also streaming live at WinMedia SKN on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hello, this is Harper.
You got a clock, you got a chair, you got some headphones.
Yep, we got that.
What about a stapler and printer?
Yep, we got that.
Do you have a floor mat too?
Yep, we got that.
Tell me you got some cables and a projector.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
And we are back. Welcome back to the program Island Tea right here on Win FM. Just about 17 minutes past 9 o'clock. Just before we took the break, I said that we were going to do a giveaway. So I hope everybody is ready to call in. All right. So the first question, it might be a Googleable moment. So I'll just say that now because I know what the answer is, but you may not. So if you don't, then Google it. If you do, call in right away and get that prize. All right. So the question is, what brain chemical is known as the cuddle or love hormone? I'll repeat it. What brain chemical is known as the cuddle or love hormone? The number to call 4660989 or 6620989. Those are the numbers to call in to win yourself a manicure.
A pedicure.
A pedicure.
That would be our gentleman's pedicure.
The gentleman's pedicure.
Yes.
So 4660989.
And we have our first call.
Oh, there you go.
Hello,
Hi.
good morning.
Good morning, caller. Go right ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Do you have the answer?
Oxytocin.
Yes, it is oxytocin. Would you want to give your name on the air or off the air?
Off the air, please.
All right, so Jamster, I'm going to ask you to take that call and get the name. You're welcome and congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one. All right, so Jamster is going to take the information from the lady. She just won a manicure. A pedicure. I keep saying manicure. Oh, my gosh.
We're giving out
I'm thinking the ladies. I'm thinking about the ladies first. I don't know why. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
For the men.
For the men. Okay,
that was too easy, Lensha.
Listen, I thought they would be Googling for a little bit. Remember, I said I know what the answer is, but I wasn't sure if anybody else knew what the answer is.
That was too easy.
All right. So, congratulations to that winner. Now, this next question is based on who was actually paying attention to what we were talking about. So, what year? I'm not even going to ask you what month or day because she said both. She said all three. But what year did the company Soul to Soul start? Give me a call, 4660989, 662 or 762-089. Those are the numbers to call. What year did Soul to Soul start operating? Yep. Let's see. Who will call me first? Let's see. So we only have a few more minutes for this particular segment. So if you need to get in on it, you need to get in on it. And the prize is
a deluxe pedicure.
A deluxe pedicure, yes.
And our pedicures, we use natural stuff in our pedicures.
All right, so we're getting another call.
Call will go right ahead.
Hello, is it 2020?
No, so sorry, it's not 2020. Thank you for calling, though. See, I know that we're gonna catch. I know that was gonna catch that.
Another call, go right ahead.
Another call. Hey, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, it's November 2008.
Yes. Oh my gosh, she got the month and everything. Congratulations, caller. Do you want to give your name on the air or off the air?
Off the air, please.
All right. Well, congratulations to you and thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. So there you go.
Yeah.
We got our two winners. Yes, sir.
indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeedy. Yeah. Do you want to give your information again, how they can find you on your social media platforms and also how to contact you for appointments?
On Instagram, I'm at Soul to Soul, and that's SOUL 2 SOLE 869. And on Facebook, I am Soul to Soul, formerly New Nails Plus.
All right.
My contact number is 6607.
It's okay. It's okay. It's your first time on the radio. It happens.
No, because I'm just thinking of the soul. I wasn't thinking of what came before the soul.
Right, right.
7653.
Okay, so give me the number again.
That's 660-7653. And we are open all day Saturday, and because of how we're set up, the appointments are personal. So you don't have to worry about no other body being there with you. It's a one-on-one interaction, because I find that people are more open to speak about whatever is happening when they can speak to you one-on-one. And because of that, I also get the opportunity to educate you on how to take care of your nails. So a bit of education comes with the treatment. It's not just you come in, you get your feet done, and you go out. We do a little diagnosis of the foot and check your lifestyle and ways that you can improve on having healthy nails and healthy feet. Because a healthy foot is a healthy body, soul to soul, a soulful experience.
Well, thank you so much, Petra, for filling us in on everything that you're doing so far. We hope to see you back here soon.
Yes, you will.
Okay,
Yes, you will.
all
I
right.
will be back.
I hope you enjoyed your first interview.
Yes.
All
I
right,
did.
good.
Thank you.
All right, well, have a good one. And everybody, check out Soul to Soul if you need your pedicures done. All right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so very much. Have a great day.
You too.
Found the sound 98.9. Win FM.
Rams is for you and me. Giving back to community. Rams is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Rams is for you and me. Better price and quality.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
And you can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Selector Highest, strictly positive and conscious music on Conscious Business on WinFM 98.9, winfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Track of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WinFM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
It's 9:30. We're getting ready for Fireproof. It's a third edition, third episode, whatever you want to call it, of Fireproof. We've got two knowledgeable and expert firemen on hand for the third episode of Fireproof here on WinFM. Good morning, guys.
Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, all.
Morning, Jamster. Morning, listening audience. Morning, Sharon.
Morning, gentlemen. FSO Romel Williams and Mr. Timothy Martin. Good morning and welcome back to WinFM for your third edition, as Jamson was indicating, of Fireproof right here on WinFM. So today you're going to be giving us a little bit of the background on the fire services.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Mr. Martin, want to kick it off?
I'll leave that to Mr. Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams.
I don't mind at all.
You're opening the
You're in the hot seat with all the red, and it's fireproof. It makes sense.
Indeed. So, we're just going to give you a brief history of the fire department, where we came from and where we are now. The fire department, historically, it started in the month of October, and that was the establishment of the fire brigade. And it was first started on the island of Nevis, according to history. It was started on the island of Nevis. Now, the records indicated that the fire brigade was established on the 30th of October, 1872. And some 143 years ago, at the time when this was, done, it's more now. So the 143 is off. So on the island of Nevis, and then it came over to St. Kitts 3 years later. So that would be 1875. It came over to the island of St. Kitts. Now the strength at the time was they had one captain, one lieutenant, and 25 men. So they only had 27 officers at the time. and the appointment was made by the then administrator. These officers were enlisted for 12 months, so they were somewhat on a contract for 12 months. Their pay was as follows, and this is quite interesting. Now, a captain, he worked for a whopping 480 cents. Now, if you do your calculations.
I don't know what I was expected to hear, but cents was not it.
So that's less than $5, $4.80.
Yes, so he worked for $4.80. A lieutenant worked for $2.40, and the other officers worked for 60 cents. All officers were paid on a monthly basis.
Monthly? 60 cents?
Yep.
No, you see, we can't imagine because you're kind of comparing it to now. But back then, it might have been, a little better off, and something would have cost like half a cent or
I guess.
When half the food supply was probably coming onto the backyard, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, that was his salary for them at the time. Now, the division became a part of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force in 1956 under the command of Superintendent James, an Englishman. The brigade became a part of the Leeward Island Police Force by SRO 24 of 59. The name was changed by an act of legislature 697 and was referred to the St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla Police Force Brigade. The brigade was then divorced from the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force on the 4th of January by an Act of Parliament number 6 of 99, thereby assuming the name the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services.
You actually didn't give the year. That was 1999?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Number 6, 99. 99 being the year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes,
but
yes.
you actually gave the date without the year first.
Yes.
So I want to be sure.
Okay, so that's basically a brief history of the fire department. The person who did this was Mr. Harvey Hendrickson. He would have been the then divisional fire officer for Nevis, the person in charge on the island of Nevis. And he was the one who would have done this brief research on the history of the fire department.
Interesting to note that it actually started on Nevis
Yes.
first and then came over.
Yes.
I thought it would have been the opposite way around. But
Yeah.
Any reason why that might have been?
I don't know.
You guys don't know? Okay.
it was
never
18, hello.
I've never really, tried to research that. I don't know. That's something we might have to look into, though.
Might just be the resilience of Nevis.
Could be.
I don't know. Maybe how it was set up back in those days, because that would have been back in, back in the days of slavery and that kind of stuff.
It could be could be that the fires over there were worse and more frequent. It's possible.
But that's something we have to dig up.
But that's a pretty intriguing
fact.
Yeah, and question. Yeah.
Okay, so I allow Mr. Martin to basically just go over what we are about, what our mission and our visions are, and we go from there.
All right, so the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services, we have adopted a mission statement. And the mission statement says that the mission of the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services is to protect and safeguard the lives and property of citizens and the general economy by preventing or reducing the dangers and effects of fires and explosions. Now, this for us says a lot, all right? It encapsulates the fact that we are here for the Federation on a whole. We are here to safeguard not only lives, but the property of those lives, all right? So we take our job seriously, and that's why we try our endeavor best to hold fast to this mission statement, all right? Whatever ventures we go into, we try to bear this in mind. Hey, is it in line with our mission statement? Our vision statement now, it speaks to ensure better equipped fire and rescue services with modern equipment responsive to the needs of the public, and to ensure a knowledgeable and professional firefighter and positive public perceptive. Now, we cannot, in our day-to-day exigencies of our duties, have dilapidated equipment. So we try our best to ensure that all our equipment are up to date. So presently, we are procuring trucks. Some of our trucks might have, in terms of their age, have outlived their use. So we are on a constant drive to bring our equipment to a modern standard, and we also hold the public's perception. So we don't just want to go out there and do our own thing. We want the public to know that, hey, we value how you see us operating, and we want to ensure that, hey, we are there for the public in all areas.
And having programs like this also, helps to familiarize the general public with what you guys do and all the things that you do to keep us safe, and so that we feel confident in calling you and knowing that you get there and help as much as you possibly can. Because sometimes, you try your best, but, things get lost.
Yes.
But as long as you're there, you'll try your very best to at least get what you need to get done.
Indeed.
Question: do you guys have the power to shut down events? I know in the U.S., North America, if you breach the fire code, like for example, say you have a party and the building holds 500, and then they come and find there's 610 people there, and the fire department can come. Do you guys have those kind of powers as well here?
Before COVID, a lot of things used to just happen haphazardly. People did whatever they wanted. Certain functions, the amount of persons attending the function and the particular space, they would far exceed the capacity of that area. But persons just used to operate. So, but when the COVID hit, a lot of things were put in place.
Right, in terms of how many people should be
persons had to come to fire department. Fire department had to approve, go and check certain spaces to make sure that, the space that the function is being held, that the capacity that space could hold is not, you don't go over that number. And I want to believe that is still in place. The fire department needs to be involved. I know for sure events like those inter-school and that kind of thing, we have to go and do inspections prior to make sure that the for instance, the stands and the bleachers, they are not overcrowded. Once that is done, what we do, we have the authority to have persons vacate the stands to bring the number back down to the acceptable limit. As far as stopping a function, as far as I know, the function shouldn't even start before our approval, and that's after COVID. And I believe it's still in place. It should be in place still. So whatever big function, major function they're having, it really has to come to police, to fire, for an approval on the event before the event even starts. So we wouldn't have any need to be shutting down anything, because we would have approved based on what you would have presented. And of course, if you breach that, then in that particular scenario, we may have the authority to say, hey, you have too many persons in there. Either bring the number down or you lock it down. Right?
Good to know.
Yeah, good to know. And similarly, I know some of the more modern buildings have emergency exits Does that dovetail with what you guys do as well? Where, for example, do you guys do building inspections where, for example, maybe you go on and see if maybe a particular emergency system is working? Because I know those are intended for fires where to provide emergency egress if perhaps the main entrance is a block. Does that come under your guys' purview as well? Or
We do inspections, as encompassing all that you just mentioned, making sure that the exits are adequate. Persons sometimes tend to store things in the hallway that could impede persons from evacuating safely. So all of these we draw to the attention, letting them know, hey, they cannot store things in hallways, etc. And we follow the standards of the NFPA guidelines. So
and the NFPA is, sorry?
National Fire Protection Association.
Okay.
And we highlight to them what that guideline says. That's the guidelines that we as fire services around the world adopt.
No, Mr. Martin is actually the head of fire prevention. I was waiting for him to mention that. So.
He conveniently left that out first.
He's the head of fire prevention, and what happened of late, we have, because persons are becoming more and more safety conscious as it relates to fires. The insurances are making sure that persons invest in fire protection and prevention systems. So a lot of businesses, they come and request inspections, private businesses, government institutions, schools, even private homes. They come and ask, residential areas, they come and ask for advice as to what extinguisher to buy, what size, and so forth. So when we started off as a separate entity, a lot of these things, they were happening, but on a one-off basis. But now it's like every day you have mountain of requests, which is why we had to made a separate unit, which is his unit, to deal with those type of requests separately. And so as the economy goes, we find ourselves having to create more and more units. We just now had to create a statistics unit, because we realize this too is being requested by government officials. So we have to make sure that we have our stats in order. So our roles are evolving daily. Traditionally, when you start a firefighter, just sat down and wait for fire. It's not like that. We just don't play domino anymore. It's not.
Well, I hope you still play some domino on your off time.
No, we have to. You have to find some recreation.
Right.
Yes, but it's not all domino as was perceived in years ago. It's not anymore. We don't have much time for that now, because we have so much things we have to get done. Yeah.
All right, so we are just about at the end of the program. Anything you can share about what you've already said in terms of like maybe a fire tip, fire safety tip, that is, just to share and end on?
There's so much out there.
I know,
right?
we'll
just pull one out.
Yeah, just pull one, yeah.
So ensure that you create an evacuation plan. I can't stress on that anymore. Persons need to ensure that their family is safe, their business is safe, and the way to go about doing that, fire safe, the way to go about doing that is creating an evacuation plan, so that in the event of a fire-related emergency, you know exactly what to do. Your employees know what to do, your family know what to do, and conduct drills regularly.
All right, well, thank you so much for that important tip. We expect to see you back here, WINN FM, in our studios 9:30 sharp. Same time, same place. All right.
And another fire-free week.
Another fire-free week. Yes.
That's
Another
right,
fire-free
Jamster.
week.
Yes.
That's
I like
right.
that one. I like that one.
Okay.
I like that. He stayed away from the Q word.
Probably still wondering what is the.
Well, I wouldn't tell him because
There's a whole lot of
My
stories.
jinx thing,
Might
right?
jinx it, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
All right, same to you.
Yes, yes.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like party party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Friends is for you and me. Giving back to community. Friends is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Friends is for you and me. Better price and quality.
Well, it's 9:49, and we just had the firemen wrapping the third broadcast. Very informative, very learning a lot. I mean, imagine finding out that the fire services actually started in Nevis, so that's pretty intriguing. So I think the officers are gonna find out why that was. And of course, we always want everyone to be, well, to exercise safety in dealing with fires and things that can start fires. Keep the matches away from the kids. And all the other things you can do to avoid fires. For example, having a fire extinguisher in your home, maybe in your car, that type of thing. So yeah, 10 minutes until 10 o'clock. And we're going to see the officers back next Friday for Fireproof. So here I am with Shari. Favorite part of my day.
Aw.
And
Good morning, Julie.
oh yeah, you had to go and support it, huh?
Well, she's my cousin. Hello.
So yeah, so I was telling AZ about the Super Bowl. Well, he's not really into sports. So I had this article saved. Not an article per se. Yeah, it was an article talking about some of the 57 things to know for the Super Bowl. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm only interested in about 3. So folks, the Super Bowl is happening on Sunday, and Super Bowl, what's that? LNV, is that 50, 60, 57, right? L is 50 and V is 5. 55 and yeah, so 57. The 57 Roman numerals. Yeah, the 57th. The 57th
staging.
Yes, of the Super Bowl is happening in Arizona, and it starts at I think it's 7:30 Eastern time. So that's like 8:30 our time, I think.
Isn't it like normally like around 8? I think it's around 8. Because I always get like a heads up from my brother, depending on who's doing like the national anthem and
I
Star Spangled Banner. And
I
all
took
that.
note of the ones I was gonna read. 53 was, I remember one of them. Let me see. 53. Yeah. Okay. So kickoff for Super Bowl 57 is set for 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on
even
Sunday,
earlier.
February 12th.
Okay,
yeah.
even
So
earlier.
which is 7:30 our time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That was like somewhere
on the same
8-ish.
time
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember number one. I figured out. Share it, folks. Is it number one? And this is the Chiefs' third Super Bowl appearance in 4 seasons, and this is the Eagles' second Super Bowl. And then the other thing I think people are interested in is
might be
the halftime show.
Well, obviously that's the
Yes.
that is always the biggest draw.
That's always the biggest draw.
Actually,
Even
for
people
those,
don't watch football.
I was just gonna say for the non-football people who actually have no idea what's actually happening. If you hear touchdown, you're like, okay, somebody scored, and that's about the extent of it. So you watch for the commercials because it used to be huge.
Yeah, the commercials. Yeah. Mhm.
Huge. I think maybe it's still as huge. Maybe.
The commercials, yeah. Commercials are pretty interesting.
I mean, well, it's huge for the advertisers because they pay a pretty penny
Yes.
to have ads during the Super Bowl. But in terms of the I don't want to say silliness, but some of them are really comical and really good, and they stand out in your head. So there's that element of it. It could either be really comical or really serious or just impactful in terms of what they're trying to relate to the person watching.
On what they're trying to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the second best thing, well, it would be third best for some,
Yeah.
is the halftime show.
So I was telling, I couldn't remember. Cheryl Lee Ralph is going to be singing the black, the black national anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Lift every voice and sing. What's the name of that show she's on? Abbott Elementary.
Abbott Elementary. Yes.
Yeah, right. And
I
she,
just like almost bit my tongue.
she's Jamaican actually.
Yes, I know that. Who
Cheryl Lee
does not
Ralph.
know that? Yes.
Uh-huh. And the national anthem is going to be sung by country star Chris Stapleton, but everyone is gunning to see Rihanna halftime.
Yes.
Barbados' first billionaire.
Yes.
Is going to be performing at the halftime show for the 57th annual Super Bowl. There are probably some people out there rolling their eyes like, Super Bowl. I want to hear about cricket. Sorry, I don't know anything about cricket.
I was just gonna say I am not the person to ask either.
I know.
I think the closest I've ever gotten to paying attention, it was back in the day when Viv Richards was like king, and I would say he's my cousin because we have the same last name.
But
that's it.
I must say, when Stanford started the 2020 thing, I was mildly engaged because I say cricket could actually be interesting. I mean, I always thought cricket.
It's probably interesting on its own because I'm pretty sure any cricket fan will tell you it's interesting.
Yeah. Except
right?
in my mind,
so I'm not gonna be the one to be like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
so if you love it, you love it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go by what you say. So it was probably already interesting then because it was huge. It still is huge.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
huge. But I mean, just the raw numbers.
Because some purists might say, is that really cricket?
You mean 2020?
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually what's making cricket more interesting because cricket was just. I think watching paint dry actually beats cricket as far as engagement. Well, the old form of the game, anyway, for me. So, and I think 2020 made it a little more interesting.
For others, nah. They like what they like.
Yeah,
mind you, they probably still like T20, yeah, but they still probably prefer the old.
The old form of the game,
the
like
old format, yeah.
All day for 4 days,
Everybody was doing it. Stop it.
Yeah, I know, but I just never understood. Just never made sense. And so is there anything else anything else that piqued your interest this week in the news, pop culture, music?
Just to say,
sports.
It's unfortunate, but the numbers continue to rise for the earthquake.
The earthquake in Turkey.
Survivors in Turkey. It's just really unfortunate.
The numbers I heard last it was 7,700 plus. That's not. And it's funny. I remember my wife exclaimed when it was 179, right? And she said, "God, 179 people." And so last night, I yelled to her, "It's 7,700 now."
7,700. Wow.
Well, and that's the number they were up to, 7,700
time,
plus.
yeah.
So it's probably, I mean, that's, and like I said, I think I'd said earlier in the week, it is one of the most serious shake tremors on record.
It was actually two. It was a 7.8 and a 7.9.
Oh my God.
I think it's just, honestly, when you hear those kinds of stories, you just want to like reach out to the National Emergency Management Agency and just have them come on and talk about, safety and what to do when something like that does happen, because we kind of take it for granted. And some people think they know, and then something happens and, well, for me, I freeze. I do know to drop cover and hold on. I know that. But in the moment of the actual shake, I freeze.
Yes. Did you see that thing I sent you last night?
I did not.
I sent you a conversation.
I did not.
I signed up for, Chat GPT is, right?
Nope.
You know what Chat GPT is? Okay, folks, Chat GPT is an artificial intelligence that was developed by OpenAI. Microsoft invested over $1 billion in the company, and now they're causing a big stir because the AI is very adept at answering questions and so on, and people have been using it to write papers and so on.
Hello. Have you not watched Terminator 2?
Yeah, I know, but it's
why are you
interesting.
guys feeding information into AIs?
Well, actually, during preparation last night, I actually asked the AI a question. I asked it. You really didn't check, did you?
Actually,
I asked it. Yeah.
So I
asked it.
What's
the meaning of Sharon?
What's the meaning of Sharon? As in my name.
It's
a Hebrew name.
Oh, you knew that? Okay.
Yeah, I know it's
the
Hebrew.
etymological. Let me read what it said.
Are you gonna talk about me and Nachu?
Yeah, well, I figured that would be a good way to engage you. That's why I sent you the chat. I thought you would have seen it.
No, I saw the message come in, but honestly, I didn't get a chance to check it.
Okay, so here's a question I said. I wondered if you know the etymological origin of the female name Sharon. Tell me by speaking. But what happened, I had asked earlier in the week if he can give answers in speech, but he told me that they haven't allowed it. It can only give answers by text. So I said, sure, the female name Sharon is thought to have originated from the Hebrew language.
Yes.
In Hebrew, the name Sharon means a plain, referring to a fertile plain in central Israel. In the Bible, Sharon is mentioned as a region renowned for its beauty and fertility. And then I said, so this was what was my response. Yes, now that you mentioned it, I remember that Israel, where they speak Hebrew and Hebrew-related tongues, had a prime minister and defense minister with that last name. But the
pronunciation is different,
yes,
because they don't say Sharon. They say, because his name is Ariel Sharon.
Yeah, Ariel Sharon. But here the thing is, a lot of my questions and my interaction are intended to be trick questions, or intended to see how
well it will answer.
Yeah. So I said there was a Israeli prime minister and defense minister, but I didn't give the name. So he went on to say, yes, that's correct. Ariel Sharon was a former prime minister and defense minister of Israel. He was a controversial figure, blah, 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 which was pretty good. So
and the AI was like, you tested me, annoyed.
But here was my answer here. I said, you're as sharp as a tack. LOL. That's what I said.
Oh, jeez.
And then he goes, thank you. I'm here to help provide accurate and informative answers to your questions to the best of my ability. And actually, I asked it about my name. That was my last question. Because for some reason, I could never find Trevor anywhere.
Okay.
So I asked about my name. Let me see what it said. Where is it? I'm looking for it. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, folks, I just said letting Sharon in on my conversations with Chat GPT. I'll tell you guys about Chat GPT next week. This is something I wanted to get to all week this week, but haven't been able to. Okay, so what language and this is my question. What language and etymological origin is my name, Trevor? So the name Trevor is of Welsh origin.
Welsh?
Yes, I didn't know that. And
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and it means large settlement or big village. The name is derived from the Welsh word Trefor, Trefor.
What do I feel like calling you big village now every time I say it?
Stop it. Which refers to... Trevor has been a popular name in Wales for centuries and has since spread to other parts of the English-speaking world, where it continues to be a popular choice for baby names. The name has also been used as a surname in some families, particularly in Wales and England. So I go, I did not know that. I could never find it online anywhere. Wow, that's what my
That's what you
response.
wrote.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was what I wrote. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you
because
being
I
all
never-
excited chatting to the AI.
Yeah,
Oh my
so I'm
gosh.
telling you. So I showed Jolene, so she was like, then I asked it, you know what the Turing test is?
Turing test?
Turing,
No.
Turing.
I've heard of it, I think.
Yeah,
in
but
passing, though.
the Turing test is a test devised by artificial intelligence and robotics experts. It's a way to test an artificial intelligence to see if it can fool someone into thinking that it's human. So when you hear like when they, so I actually asked him if he ever took a. I actually asked it. I'm saying him. I asked it if it's ever took a Turing test. I'm looking for it. It's named after
Alan Turing.
Alex Turing. He was
Turing,
he was a key code breaker for the British during World War II.
I think there was a movie.
There was
done
a
on
movie,
it,
yes.
And Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes,
played-
Benedict Cumberbatch again.
played
That name again.
character,
Yeah. Well, I was looking for the Turing question because I think I asked it. Did they ever give you a Turing test? Let me see.
As you're looking for that information, though, a few years ago, it was Jeopardy. They actually had Watson, which was an AI computer. They actually had it on the show, competing against some of the best minds. And asking questions and the ability to answer correctly and stuff like that. I don't know where Watson is now, but
yeah, Watson's IBM. Yeah,
I thought to myself,
I think it's still there.
What? It probably is. It's probably a lot smarter because that was years ago.
I know.
Years ago.
It actually beat a bunch of people at
I don't see
Kasparov.
why.
I think it beat Gary Kasparov at chess.
I just feel like if you'll give it enough information and it will do what all
No, I don't think
all
so.
the other movies
I don't think it works
said it
like
would
that.
do.
I don't think it works like that. But so I asked it. No, the database only goes up to 2021, and the database for the chatbot, for the AI, and it's not on the internet. So I asked, what's the reason for not giving you access to the internet? Its answer was, as an AI language model, I wasn't given that direct access to the internet during my training.
You know what would happen if that happened?
Yeah,
You've seen the movie.
Yeah, you're right.
You've seen the
right.
movie. And honestly, I wouldn't even blame it.
So here's the last part. I came up with a name for you that only I can call you. That's great. So guess what name I came up with?
I don't know.
Robro.
Who?
Robro.
Robro.
Yeah, robot bro. Get it? Robot bro, Robro.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
So it's a
Okay.
show you can call me Robro. I'm here to help answer your questions you might have. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway.
Plain Village.
So that was pretty
Village.
interesting, right?
It was.
I can't find a Turing question.
And
but
we have to wrap things up.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We do.
So everyone stay tuned to WINNFM. Thank you so much for joining us here on Island T. Be sure to check in with us again Monday morning, bright and early at 8 o'clock until 10 for another edition of Island T.
And have a great
Stay
weekend,
tuned,
folks.
everyone.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Trish, let's go. The bus is about to leave. You go. Tell mommy I had detention. I'm not lying to mommy. Where are you going? I have a date. A date? Shh. Don't shush me. Where are you going? I hope it's not to see that old man again. He's not that old. He just came back from away and he's bringing me a gift. You know if mommy find out what she's doing. She won't, cause you're not gonna tell her. I'm gonna bring some money for you too. He always gives me cash to top up my phone and stuff. No, I don't want it, and I'm not letting you go. Get on the bus or I'm telling the principal.
Secretly receiving gifts or items from older people may be the beginning of sexual grooming, which often leads to sexual exploitation. Don't allow your friends to encourage you to keep